Unsubstantiated advice about life from a middle-aged man, money management. Welcome, everybody. This is Rich J. Tilley, the author. For those of you that own the book by now on ebook or physical copy, why don't you go ahead and dial up YouTube and stick in the earbuds and let me read to you as you read through the chapters. Get you a dual sensory experience. Let's get started. Let us begin with a cold, hard fact. Life is harder now than it used to be back in the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s. It seems like two incomes channeling back to one household are necessary in the 2020s just to have a sniff of being financially sound and comfortable. Would you agree? Do we all feel like everything seems to have gone up in price these days? New homes are more expensive. Rent is more expensive. Vehicles are more expensive. Food is more expensive. Thank goodness we don't need a place to live, a way to get around, and a primal desire to eat food anymore. I'm being sarcastic. At least the price of higher education and college tuition has remained at a reasonable rate over the last 20 years. More sarcasm. Do we all feel the more money we make, the more we seem to spend? We find that there is too much month left over after the money? Do some of us reading this book live paycheck to paycheck? Do some of us wish we just had a paycheck? The goal of this chapter is to advise us all on managing our money a little better, especially when our finances become tight. We can take the reins off a little when we are doing financially better, but we must learn to be a good manager of our money so we know what we have to do in the slimmer and leaner times. Money is not the key to happiness, said the person with very little money in the bank. Having money does not bring guaranteed happiness, but neither does being broke. Example, a rich businessman driving his luxury car to his high-rise building may have some pressing issues to deal with when he walks into the office. But Mr. Average, struggling to get his junky car to start on a cold winter's morning, is feeling an equal subjective amount of stress too, right? Mr. Average might miss a day of work if his car is not starting correctly. And we all know it's going to take some money to fix the problem. He scratches his head in anguish. Could it be the starter or the battery? Could it be the ignition switch or the fuel pump? Might be the alternator. We have a picture of Ed here, and he's saying, "No money, no fix. Can't work today? Less money to fix." Solutions to problems with mechanical machines, such as cars, cost money to fix and are easily identified by the expertise of an auto mechanic. But these solutions are much easier to diagnose than solutions to human beings' money management problems. Often, a person will show clear signs of overspending or managing their money incorrectly, but will refuse to admit that they have a problem. This is the added layer when dealing with the human race. Can you imagine if the junky car was a human and owned an ego, an opinion, could push back and talk back to us? Example, Mr. Average accuses their human car of having a starting problem. The car yells back in denial, "I do not have a starting problem." Mr. Average confronts the human car again and exclaims, "Well, you won't start in the morning." The car emphatically states, "Listen, I don't have a problem. You have a starting problem." The human car resists because it does not want to be fixed. Oh, I see some of you may have had a similar chat like this in your households before, huh? Me too. more times than I care to remember. I have an emphasis bar here. It says money management is defined as the behavior of rationally managing our fluctuating disposable monthly income. Money management can be defined as rationally managing our fluctuating disposable income. The piece or sliver of money left over after our bills and expenses. I understand that it is human nature to crave and desire nice things. The more we have, the more we want. Wanting takes spending, right? Do you know the difference between a couple earning over $125,000 per year and having outgoing bills of $130,000, and a single person earning $35,000 and having expenses of $40,000? The answer? A nicer washing machine, couch, and front door, right? They are both equally as broke, spending $5,000 annually beyond their means. Spending money has a direct tie-in with human emotions, and this fact is the complex dynamic when we are not dealing with machines. Think about it. We spend money on our kids because we love them. We spend money when we are sad and depressed about something. We spend money when we are happy or celebrating something. We spend money because, hey, it's the holidays. We spend money to show off, to reward ourselves, and to keep up with the Joneses. We spend money to prevent somebody that we love from dying by absorbing extra medical expenses. Do we all see the multifaceted emotional issues when discussing managing our money? It's tricky, isn't it? I have an emphasis bar here. It states, we all buy on emotion and then justify our purchase decisions with false logic. In almost every circumstance, we spend our money emotionally and then we try to justify spending it by using logic. Here are a few examples to help reiterate my point. Example 1. A lady buys a new coat because it was on sale at 50% off and fits her figure nicely. Even though she already owns 4 coats, she tells herself that her other coats are worn out. People are tired of seeing her in the same old jackets, and she deserves it. She reminds herself that she has been working really hard lately. Example 2. Parents spend $2,500 out of pocket at the orthodontist, helping their daughter obtain braces for her teeth. The parents do this because they do not want their precious child going through life with a crooked smile. Example 3. A man gets promoted to a new higher level position at work and becomes the new boss. 1 week later, he trades in his old vehicle for a brand new $70,000 SUV with all the bells and whistles, accompanied with a $700 per month payment. The man justifies his purchase by saying he can't have some of the folks that work for him now have a nicer car than he does. He has an image to keep up. Do you see the emotional decisions with logical justifications in these 3 examples? Were any of the above purchases absolutely necessary or mandatory? The kid's teeth one tugged at my heartstrings a little, but all the spending didn't really have to happen, did it? Outrageous spending from one or both people in a relationship can be a topic of heated conversation, can't it? Experts say that around 75% of all arguments could be eliminated between cohabiting couples if money wasn't the focal point of the issue. To this enlightening information, I posed a question to myself, asking, well, what on earth would we argue about then? I then paused and answered my own question with, "Oh, I'm sure my girlfriend will think of something." I read somewhere that extra money makes us more of what we were in the first place, meaning if we suddenly came into a large sum of money or earnings, this new realm of extra disposable income would amplify all of our good traits and simultaneously amplify all of our bad traits. For example, if we were a kind and caring soul before we ended up with new money, we would become even more kind and generous with our new wealth. Consequently, if we were a giant douchebag before we attained new money, we would only be more of an arrogant, disrespectful, despicable jerk with our newfound wealth. Have we met anybody like this? Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. So we all know that money, spending money, and managing money is a complicated subject. Let's talk about the boring stuff that we all have to do, like paying those bills. Here is a simple behavior for everyone to emulate. I have an emphasis bar. It states, pay your bills right away. Don't let them sit around. When the basic bills come in, like the gas and the electric bill, the cell phone bill, furniture bill, student loan bill, whatever bill, pay them right away. Some of y'all resist me already, I'm guessing. You are thinking that I can't relate to your specific situation right now, explaining to me that we just can't pay our bills right away. We don't have enough money. We're in between paydays right now. You challenge me by asking me, do you think money grows on trees? Here is my empathetic response. I hear everyone loud and clear, but it is because a person does not pay their bills right away that they don't have the money to pay them right away. Now, granted, the lack of money issue could be an unemployment dilemma, but we need to understand the tighter the finances, the better we need to be at managing our money. Most of the time, the issue is how human beings tend to put their needs ahead of everything else. The creditor's needs should come first, and there are some actions we need to take in order to reverse this selfish thinking. Please read and think about this message below, and then we will discuss how we are going to change some of our habits. I have the emphasis bar. Poor people have poor ways. A poor person referenced above does not mean someone struggling to live homeless begging for $1 on a street corner. A poor person is a person that has the means, a job, and an income, but simply owns a poor set of ways of handling their money. This person is at the mercy of their own emotions and can't control themselves. Assuming this notion, our first move is to pad our checking account by $500 to $1,000. We need to stop cutting it too close and get out of this waiting for payday routine. Now, obviously, the reason for this padding is to never place ourselves in a precarious position where we are wondering if a check is going to bounce or being blindsided by an electronic debit clearing causing a negative checking account balance. This first exercise will take some cutting back, discipline, and sacrifices. But we must get ourselves in this empowering financial position initially so we can start winning the battles over our money. Disclaimer. Some of this advice may fall on deaf ears if you live too below the poverty level or live too wealthy. If your household monthly income is over $25,000 and you can't relate to some of these remedial things all of us must do at a normal standard of living level, please just take the core principles of the advice and scale it to your world, or just skip to the next chapter. On the other hand, this chapter may explain some of the behaviors in some of the members of your own family. Back to us regular folks. Now, some of you might say to me, if I have $1,000 sitting in my bank account, I am just going to find a way to spend it. I know me. I say, exactly. That's part of the human money management problem. This is the personal discipline layer, causing our complicated quest for a money management solution to be so challenging. We must all come to the realization that we spend money emotionally and must strive to gain some willpower and extra discipline until we are in a financial position to release the reins. Isn't it funny how something always comes up when we have some extra money in the account? Okay, so assuming we have our main checking account padded, let's say at an easier $500 threshold, and a household member recently got paid with a paycheck, which was deposited in the bank. Let's move to the next step. When a bill comes in, you pay it. Watch your account dwindle down. Another bill comes in, pay it right away. The day it comes in, send a check out or pay online the very same day. For this financial tutelage, we also have to pretend that we are not allowed to use our credit cards to pay a bill or purchase anything on credit. That is another topic related to discipline. Let's keep moving. So, we have paid all of our bills, including rent and mortgage, and let's say we have $750 left in our checking account. What is the most we can spend on ourselves? Again, assuming that we are not allowed to use our credit cards. The answer is $250, right? 750 minus 500. What if once we had paid all of our bills, we had $510 left? Well, congrats. You've got $10. Spend it wisely. If the balance is 200, we basically have to wait until our next pay cycle to analyze our situation. Commit to this new frugalness for a month or two, and the tables will start to turn in your favor. Have faith that you will end up having more money for yourself, which is the ultimate goal here. Let's take it to the next level of money management. So now we are padding the account and starting to think with the correct philosophy. Bills come first, we come last. Let's say a utility bill comes in for $60. Pay $70 on it. You will not miss that extra $10, trust me. The following month, assuming the utility bill is pretty consistent monthly, you should receive a new bill for $50. Pay $60 on it. The following month, the bill should be $40. Pay $50 on it. After a few months, we should receive an invoice stating, no bill due at this time. If we did this same routine on several similar monthly bills, we may have several bill creditors telling us that we don't need to pay anything this month. Try this discipline. Step it up a little. Pay an extra $20 on each bill. You will find that you don't even miss the extra $20 either. Pay $200 on a $160 cell phone bill. Pay $175 on a $120 electric bill. Why not? You will speed up the process of getting to a month where you owe nothing. Money has been freed up by playing tricks with our own money, and now we can start spending some money on ourselves, assuming we have the account padded and all the other bills are paid. The tables are beginning to turn. Another fact, human beings are very selfish. You would probably agree with me that most people are only interested in things that revolve around them, or immediately silently ask themselves in every situation, what's in it for me? When folks think this way, They are already practicing the previous exercise, but in the completely opposite way. For example, the electric bill comes in, and the self-centered ones say, well, I think I will just send in half this month just to keep the lights on because I'm a little short this week. Their brain self-talks to them. Keep a little something for myself, just in case something comes up, right? They say, I will pay the minimum on the electric bill so I have my money for bingo night. Wrong, wrong, wrong. If you think this way, you are not sacrificing anything here. It's all about you, and you will never get out of the poor money management trap. We should be saying, sorry, girls, can't make it tonight. My money's not right. I will see you all in a couple of weeks. Sacrifice, discipline, commitment, faith towards the outcome is what it takes. By the way, substitute bingo night for the very thing you know what I am talking about. Kicking a bad habit can save you a lot of money. As I mentioned in the beginning of this chapter, vehicles are getting more expensive these days. It is not uncommon for our auto loan payments to be our second most expensive bill, behind our rent or mortgage, right? Paying a little extra each month on top of our scheduled vehicle payment can reduce the number of months we have to pay back the loan and saves us real money in overall interest. Personal story. Somebody that I know that makes a fairly modest annual salary just bit off a little more than she could chew purchasing a new shiny red SUV. She loves her new wheels. No buyer's remorse at all. But her new SUV comes with a nice new auto payment of $300 a month. Do you know anyone like this? She budgeted $200 a month for a new vehicle, but ended up going $100 a month over her budget, trying to find something she liked. The new financial obligation to her loan company felt a little scary to her. Taking money management advice from a middle-aged man she knows, she opened a new account with an entirely different bank to run her new SUV payment through. Every payday, she direct deposits $160 into her new bank account, preparing for her hefty $300 SUV payment. Every month, she ends up direct depositing a total of $320. She pays the $320 instead of the asked for $300 on her new auto loan note. And she will end up paying her SUV off 5 months quicker, thus saving 5 payments of $300 or $1,500 of interest. This is good, intelligent money management. The extra $10 per paycheck is not missed, but ends up saving her 5 auto loan payments. She originally was not too enthralled with having her net paychecks be $160 less than had been, but her stress over coming up with the money for her new SUV has been eliminated. She knows she can only spend what she has left on paydays after she has paid all of her bills out of her net paycheck. Disclaimer. Obviously, I can't know your uniquely specific vehicle loan details, such as your interest rate, monthly payment, term, and number of vehicles that you have sitting unpaid for on the driveway. Please understand the concepts that are being shown and customize the advice to your own situation. You will appreciate the peace of mind. Try these principles, new habits, and exercises with your own unique financial situation until we are all lucky enough to be comfortably wealthy, having a surplus of disposable income, no longer having to struggle financially. We all need to buckle down and win the battle between ourselves and our human urges. Spending money is based on emotion. Managing money takes discipline, planning, and selflessness. If we all learn to live off less than we make, we will all be less stressed over this necessary commodity we call money. Unsubstantiated advice from a middle-aged man about money management. We all know that it is human nature to spend whatever is sitting in our bank account. We must play tricks with our own money in order to come out the winner in the end. Learn to put ourselves last so we can eventually put ourselves first. Am I right about this, or just half right? This concludes the money management chapter in Unsubstantiated Advice About Life from a Middle-Aged Man. I hope you picked up some tips. I don't have a financial degree, but my 831 credit score should give some sense of credibility to the words. There's so much to say about money. It was a long chapter. I apologize. If there is a sequel to this book, there will be a Money Management 2 chapter. Please join us on YouTube for the next chapter called Punctuality. It's a funny one. This is Rich J. Tilley. Thanks for listening, everybody.